I'm here tonight because I love to teach what I do. Those that don't know what I do, I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm a sports coach. And I help in all areas of life. It doesn't have to be just for sports. But sports is close to me because I grew up riding. And when I think about what I do, really and truly, are y'all hearing the echo I'm hearing? Does that sound okay?
It's okay.
Okay. Just kind of get back in my head. So when Lyndon asked me if I could do tonight, I said, yes, what do you want me to speak on? Because I can speak on all kinds of things about the brain. It's sometimes for me hard to narrow it in because I want to teach so much. She said something about mental toughness and about burnout. Does anybody here ever get burnt out? Like a lot of people, because what is burnout? Burnout is just getting exhausted. Burnout is putting too much on your plate. Burnout is expecting too much of yourself. Really and truly what burnout is not taking care of yourself. Could you imagine if your horses had burnout? Would you take care of them better? You would. I know you would. So what I want to really work on today is giving you some tools. Some tools to help yourself. With that in mind, this is a new clipper, so I'm learning it. She's not working. No, my computer's here. Oh, well, it's not working, so I'll stand over here. I just bought this new one. What if I guaranteed you great results if you followed my 7 keys? What if I guaranteed that? What do you think about guarantees? When you buy something, you want it to be guaranteed? I actually tell my clients I guarantee my work. And in 24 years, I've had one person call me up and say it didn't work. I really didn't want to quit smoking. So this is what I guarantee you, but I want you to know research has proven that you really don't retain what I tell you tonight. I mean, seriously, your message, a 10-minute presentation, listeners will only remember 50%. 50%. The next day, only 25%. Oh my goodness. A week later, you only remember 10% of what I'm going to say here tonight. 10%, that's nothing. But I'm glad you came because I'm going to teach you you can do more. It suggests you give your audience visuals. It suggests you give your audience messages and give stories. I'm full of stories. It suggests visuals. Where you're going to get all of them. Because I want more of this presentation to last, and I want you to get more than 5%. A lot of y'all that know me know my story. Hypnosis saved my life, 45, 50 years ago, from depression and suicide. I'm a very, very lucky human being. My mother found a hypnotherapist in the early 70s. I became a hypnotherapist 25 years ago. I studied psychology in college. I studied lots of things in college because I was in college for a while. I actually got my degree in interior design. So really what I do is design furniture in your head. One lady said to me one day, she says, Laura, I've been going to a therapist for a long time. They just keep moving the same furniture around. You recover it, you get rid of it, and you make it work. Because I use some tools. So my suggestions of what they're telling me, how to get y'all to remember more of what I'm going to say tonight. I printed out a PowerPoint presentation, so you take that home. I gave you a book, which you're going to learn about later. It's part of the overall life cycle of getting your life to flow like a good wheel in life. And I also am providing hypnosis for you. There's a free download inside of there, which you can go there and get my hypnosis sessions. And I got up yesterday morning, I thought, what can I give them that will really, help them be more than 10%. Only if you do your homework. I recorded a special MP3 yesterday morning, and I haven't recorded in a little while. And it includes everything in this presentation to get you to do it. So you don't have to listen to 10 different MP3s for it. You get one. I'm going to give you more, but you get the one that does do this. Because I want you, if you take care of yourself as good as you take care of your horses, you're going to have the results that you want. What we know about life is that if you give yourself, just if you, your daytime, if you did 4% of your day, 4% is an hour. What if you gave yourself 2% of the day, 30 minutes to work on yourself? Anybody have 30 minutes a day to work on themselves? Most of the time, no. I'm suggesting you do. I did 16 hours at 12% is 32 hours. So my little thing I got off the internet, so I corrected that, but these were already printed, so yours doesn't have the hours on the side because it bothered me. What really is 2%? What really is 4%? So I looked it up. So this simple goal setting worksheet, I had one printed and put in the back of the PowerPoint for you. That's a full sheet. Is for you to use in the future just to give you an idea of being able to look at your life and figure out what you want to change, what you want to do. And I just gave it to you. You can get online and find all kinds of ones, but you're going to have some in the book also. But this is just a basic core of starting. Key number 1. How do you set goals? I call them outcomes. A lot of times we have a goal and it's something out there and we never reach it. I like to shift the words and let it be an outcome. What is your outcome? What outcome do you want? No matter what age you are, no matter what you're doing in life, no matter what you're working toward, no matter what, we set ourselves up for wanting to do something. New Year's resolutions. Do you know why New Year's resolutions 9 out of 10 times don't work? Because it's one long list and the brain goes, oh, well, that's nice, never mind. It's too much for the brain to digest. You got to chunk it. You got to put down what you want. You got to bring it down to smaller, measurable chunks. Chunking it, figuring out what you're going to do here, and divide it out. So we're going to kind of get to your time, what your outcomes are that you want, so your brain knows what to do with it, whether it's showing, whether it's teaching, whether it's whatever the it is. We have a lot of it's in our life, don't we? So I want you to think about key number 1, is that outcome based for your personal best? I use the term personal best a lot. I started, 18 years ago, because I discovered every one of us as a human being, everything we do, when we do it, at that moment, we are really doing our personal best by what's in our brain. You don't intentionally do anything wrong. You don't intentionally ask the horse for the wrong movement. You don't intentionally go off course. You don't intentionally do anything. Your brain is doing its best by what it's operating off at the moment. I was teaching this particular trainer this one time. He said, Laura, I don't know if I like that. I go, okay. You don't have to like what I say. He says, I just see him make so many mistakes. I go, do you think they go out there and go, I really want to make this mistake to get him mad at me? No. The brain is giving the brain, producing a communication between the brain to every cell of the body to communicate to that horse. That private conversation between human and horse. The human is actually doing their personal best by what is being programmed in there. Next week he comes in and he says, oh my gosh, all my students did so much better when I had a better understanding about their personal best. Because he wasn't angry at them. So let's think of personal best in your life. Your personal best is what you're going to put together to figure out what you want. how you want to teach, how you want to ride, whatever the it is again. I'm going backwards. Okay. Now, when you think about your real self and your personal best, we want to disconnect the two for a moment. I want you to think about what is your motivation, and we're going to have a learning agenda, and we have a practice. You're creating new neurological pathways in your brain when you do something. Somebody sent me a quote the other day from some research study that if you're happy when you're learning, you learn quicker. If you're in a good mood when you're learning, you retain it longer, and it starts creating more of a pathway to the personal mastery. What we go through with our personal best is we're going to figure out our personal goals, our dreams, our values, and use role models to reflect in that mental training of who we are. Now, what I did in this presentation is I gave you all of these chunks to do, and some of this is homework because we only have just over an hour. I could sit here for 5 hours with y'all. So I'm going to give you the material, go through it with you. Some of it is your homework, okay? Because I didn't want to just give you an idea and then leave you with, well, how do I do it? You have some homework. So this is basically what we do with real and personal best. We decide how we're shifting into being that personal best. The real self, okay. Your attitude. What do you think of your ability to ride? This is what you go through. You answer these questions. What do you say to yourself in the mirror in the morning? So you start evaluating what your real self attitude is. Here's the basis of it. If I want to make change, I got to know where I am. I got to see what the roadmap is to improve my skill, improve my intention, improve what I'm doing. If I don't know where I am, how do I know where I'm going? And if I can't figure out where I want to go, how am I going to get there? Like right now, if y'all need to go to a Publix, how many people get to Publix without getting a map or ask Siri? Now, I'd have to ask, I haven't been in Wellington in a long time, so I'd have to ask my phone to find the closest Publix. Because I don't have a roadmap in my brain of where to go. So that's what I want you to think about. When you go to do something that you don't know, don't get mad at yourself. What you know is what you know. What you don't know is what you don't know. Learn. What we're doing is going to open up your mind for that process. This morning, what did you say when you looked in the mirror? Hello, beautiful. Let's have a gorgeous day. I'm sure every one of you did. Most people don't. We have life here. And looking in the mirror, gosh, lately I looked in the mirror and I just realized how old I'm getting. Oh, well. I didn't think turning 68 was going to awaken me like it has. You know what I thought the other day? Oh my gosh, I have 2 more years, I'll be 70. I go, oh well. Because I don't care, I'm going to live every day to the best of my ability. I'm going to wake up every morning, and I am going to move my dogs over so I can get out of the bed. And I'm going to be happy, because it's a choice. So I'm going to look in the mirror and be happy. What is your overall attitude about showing, or teaching, or training, or speaking? You see me up here speaking. There was a day I couldn't even speak in front of my 9-year-old Girl Scout troop. I'm probably the only Girl Scout leader that hired a co-leader. I had a fear of public speaking until I was 40-something years old, and I got hypnotized to speak. It works. So what is your attitude about it? What do you believe about your real self? Are you critical? Are you criticizing yourself every day? How does your real life deal or cope with situations that might happen? Are you flexible? Are you adjustable? Or do you have anxiety? What if? What are your what ifs? This is so important, because once you find these answers and you listen to the MP3, you will have change because you can shift your energy and you can shift your thoughts. What is your negative self-talk? There's a study that was done a while back, and it would prove that like 90% of the human race doesn't think they're enough. Well, I did write a book, Perfect Enough, and I didn't bring that tonight. I wrote a book called Perfect Enough because we're all perfect enough. There's no such thing as perfect. Even in the dressage world, has anybody gotten a perfect score? But they do every movement correctly and get a higher score. Their personal best keeps going up. I had a call that day. Somebody called me and said, you know, when you were hypnotizing me by my personal best and told me that my score would be okay, that I would enjoy it more and I'd have so much more fun showing, I didn't really know what you meant. He said, but my score is the highest score I ever got, my personal best. I went, oh, really? That's what personal best is. So what we want to do is go through these things and be able to eliminate what's keeping you from where you want to be. Your performance reviews. How do you review your performance? Do you watch your mistakes over and over again? If you keep doing that, you'll keep making the same mistake over and again, over and again, over and over again. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I think that's the definition of insanity. But I want you to think about your performance reviews. Do your own self-assessment. Talk to your trainer. Trainers, you do this with your students. And do a 360 feedback all the way around on what it's about. Get an overview. Sometimes we get right in it and we're so critical of what's wrong and we see what we need to do, but we don't get the overview. And then we want to do the analysis of it to figure out what we're doing with the situation. Kind of look at what do I need to do to improve that? Whether it's personal, whether it's in your training, whether it's in your writing, whether it's in your showing, whatever it is. So we want to take the personal best attitude and we want to think the performance at a higher level. What does it look like to be at that next level? I really recommend looking at YouTube videos of someone that's doing it correctly. The brain memorizes it, which we'll get into a little in a few minutes, about how, like Ashley was talking on the panel last week, visualization is huge. Well, hypnosis is visualization. You visualize yourself. It's self-hypnosis. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So the visualization is, what do you want to see yourself? What do you say about your skill? So when you're teaching, what's your skill level of teaching? What's your skill level of getting that point across to the student? And helping them see what their level of growth can be. Believing and finding that internal dialogue, can I do that? If I don't believe I can do it, I'm never going to do it. Or there's going to be a limiting belief in the brain keeping you from it. I had a client come in. She always is like seconds and thirds, and she sits down. She says, you know, I really want to do it. I got a good horse and all that, but I just can't seem to win. I looked at her and said, well, what do you think of a winner? She goes, oh, they're usually socially unacceptable, rude. I go, then you'll never be one. The brain will keep you from being that. I had a salesperson came to me for that. So we changed the belief system. She could be herself and be that. And it worked. So then again, what is your self-talk about your personal best? Really write this down. Write down if it's negative, and make yourself create a positive and throw away the negative. You've got to replace that thought. Like you've got to believe that you can be a winner and be who you are, kind, gentle, nice, and loving, or however you want to describe yourself. So then you go into the personal goals, your dreams. Now what are the difference between personal goals and dreams? I was talking a couple years ago at the Robert Dover thing, and The kids put their hand up and said, well, what was yours, Mrs. King? I stood there and went, to answer that in that situation. Actually, it was to be standing there talking. That was a dream of mine. It's a dream of mine to be here and working with London. I love teaching people how to help themselves. And Robert is a friend, and then I asked him if I could teach him. Well, I don't know if anybody's interested in it, just because I like the car. I go, well, give me a chance. And he did. Gosh, that was 15 years ago. So think about your dreams. You can achieve them. Believe that. Figure out the next part is the values. Now, why would I put values in here? What is a value? Value is where you classify it in your brain to how you value where you are and how you critique it. There's a value system of what we do about everything. We value is a category of the brain where it's a high or a low whether you like something, a value system. So you have to create what that looks like. Role models. Role models are where you find somebody that you like how they do it and you use them as a role model because if they can do it, you can do it. Believe that part. Reflecting. Now, reflecting is not for you to go back and judge, but to look at the processing of what you did so you can reflect to what you need to do next. Now, with judging self, judging your internal dialogue, maybe you just want to start changing the word judge to assess. When you go to a horse show, why do you go to a show? Why do you train people to show? Why do we do that? Everybody says, well, we got to go get judged. These judges are there and they're going to judge me. All right, they're not judging you because actually, technically, the word judge is a negative word because it's like a critical factor. What if you went there, went down center line and believed you're just being assessed on your value where you have gotten to and what you are at that moment? The judges have learned how to look at your each movement, look at how you're making the movement, look at what the value system is, where you are in that movement, and give you a number. They're not being judgmental of you. They are assessing and finding a way for you to see what you need to work on. Is that right? And I've used this term a lot with a lot of clients, and it's taken the pressure off of going in the ring. They're not fearful of those people lined up. They're going to go show them what they've done and how good they can do something. It really has shifted hundreds of people in my career. I want you to think about that when you're teaching your students and when you're going in the ring yourself. Assessment, because it's not a negative word. Your mental training. Mental training is what I'm teaching you tonight. Mental training is what you as trainers are helping your students with your words. How you communicate. What you teach them is mental training. Going to a sports psychologist, going to a hypnotherapist, going to a sports coach, whatever anybody puts their label up as. They're trained to help people see things with a better point of view and point out where the negative is coming from to help reframe it, rewrite it. From the real self-talk to the personal best talk, from the negative self-talk to positive self-talk. Now, doesn't that sound easy? It is, but it isn't. Because we're talking on 12% of the brain, and remember, in a week you're going to remember 5% of this stuff. It makes me very motivated to be here. Just kidding. And when I read it, I'm like, it's got to be more than that. So I kept researching it. Every one of them came up the same. I'm like, that's not fair. So, motivation. What motivates you? That's the ability to go and wear what hat you're going to somewhere and be a trainer, make a living, get from where you want to go, have a dream of your own, to go in the ring and train horses, ride horses. Why do we have horses? I've ridden my whole life, so it's okay. I still have two. I decided I was going to do it another way this time around and buy young, really good ones. I've bred one and bought one prospect. They both have leg problems. My 2-year-old just had leg surgery. My 3-year-old. I love them. It's a crapshoot. And I've had great horses. My daughter had great horses. She rode Jimmy Toronto for years. She had great horses. We did great. So what motivates you? What motivates me to be here is to teach you how to help yourself. So here are the tools. Learning. Content reframing. If you have a pen and you have that piece of paper open in front of you, that PowerPoint I gave you, circle that. What is content reframing? It is taking a negative statement you say to yourself all the time and changing it. Rewrite what you're saying. Your self-talk is so important. We were taught it, I was taught as a child, don't be selfish, don't think of yourself, blah, blah, blah. You know what I've learned? I've got to give myself oxygen first or I can't help anybody else. Neither can you. Really, that reframing, it's actually NLP technique, isn't a term. It is taking what you're thinking, saying, and doing and making it what you want. Affirmations for belief. Everybody in this room knows what affirmations are, don't they? I mean, that's a common thing. Write out what you want. I am perfect enough. I am my personal best. Start talking to yourself that way. When I learned all this 45 years ago, I was taught, get a dry eraser and write it, 45 years ago, I was taught, get a tube of lipstick and write on my mirror, I'm enough. Lipstick is very hard to get off, so don't do that. Use a dry eraser now, because it's easy to erase. Put messages on your mirror. Make index cards and put some good reframing and some affirmations of change. Of changing. And that form of the outcome that you want is the outcome that you've got to create first with a thought. There's a magic word that's right there. I guess I have some caps on the end. Look how big. Solutions. Anybody in this room know anything about solutions, the word solutions? The advertising world learned it first years ago. Now, when you leave here tonight, you're going to notice as you drive around tomorrow how many companies have solutions in their title and in their subtitles. There's a reason. Advertisers learn the brain, the subconscious mind that I'll teach you in a minute, will automatically think solutions. If it's part of a title of a name of a company or a subtitle, they will be called first because they are the solution. Mental health is learning about solutions. I have an MP3 for solutions. You can download it. If you live every day basing your life on what is a solution for everything that's going on, your brain's going to produce solutions, not the problem. You'll override your problem. Problems create problems. Solutions allow your brain to start thinking in the solution-based framework. If something is difficult somewhere and people are unhappy, just look at them and say, what's a solution? You've shifted from the question into their brain, and their brain starts thinking of a solution. I've worked with some big companies, and I go in, when everybody has a problem, I ask them what the solution is. A week later, they call me up, boy, that word works. I didn't invent it, I just learned about it. So, solutions is a big deal. That's in your learning. So right now, in the process of your mind, the agenda, evaluate your self-belief, set up your routine. I underline routine because I want to go back to that 2% of your day to give yourself some time. The NLP exercises, that's the reframing, that's the solutions. Practice these things. Do the index cards. Put it on your mirror. Breathing exercises I put in here because we're all taught to breathe, and we forget to breathe all the time. Remember, shift that and start thinking about your breathing. Make the habit of breathing every time you get in your car. Create some routines that have breathing in it. Now, the last one I put on here for a reason. Listen to an MP3. Because all people call me up that I help do some great things. And they'll call me a year later. I need a brain tune-up. Okay, good. Have you been listening to your MP3s? No. Do you brush your teeth every day? Yeah. Listening to an MP3 is like brushing your brain. It's cleansing your brain. The MP3 is the hypnosis. There are 400 titles underneath my name, but there are lots of them out there. You don't even have to look me up. You can go to YouTube and get my hypnosis anytime you want for free. Sleep ones. I help you sleep. So I put it on this agenda because if the statistics of that second slide are correct, and I'm determined that my presentation is going to be better than 5% that you're going to remember, I'm begging you to listen to the MP3 so you remember forever. So you make change. You change because you want to. Practice. Positive emotions that help improve performance. If you're positive when you are taking a lesson and you're teaching a lesson and you go in the ring, if you're happier, if you think a good thought before you do it, you're going to do better. That's pure science. That's not my opinion. I'm not sharing anything I just dreamt up myself. I research this stuff all the time. I went to pick up just to read a novel the other day, and gosh, I don't want to read a novel. Where's another brain book? Our brains do everything. Because we're creating the pathways so we can get our personal mastery. We can make sure we get to that personal best. Key 2, maintain a positive mindset. I've gone over this. I'm just going to do these slides because I added that little bit with the personal best to this because I felt it was so important. So y'all had that to go home and do. Key 2 is just to maintain the positive mindset. That is the reframe. Add this. Do this. Reframe your thoughts. How to beat burnout. Emotional states can spread. The burnout that you attribute to the impossible to-do list is partially influenced by the moods of others. We absorb what we're around. We're monkeys. Monkey see, monkey do. So we want to be aware of the triggers that contribute to how you're feeling. Have you ever been in a good mood? And you walk into some place and the person you meet up with is in a bad mood? And you start thinking about that? I'm the type of person that when I run into somebody that is in a bad mood, I like to change it. Because I have some techniques. I walked into Staples to get my PowerPoint printed. Poor girl's getting yelled at by all these people. She's working back behind the counter by herself. I wait in line. I'm patient. She gets to me. She's, what do you need? Well, I have this PowerPoint I kind of get printed. I said, how was your day? I really like your earrings. I don't even know where earrings were, but you do? Well, thank you. I said, you know, sounds like you're having a rough day. My project's going to be really easy, and I just really want you to have a better day. She's like, really? Okay, what can I do to help you? I need to get this PowerPoint. How much would it cost me for this? How much would it do this? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't want it colors. Way too expensive. I said, you need black and white. She said, okay. She said, well, if you spend so much money, you get $100 off. Well, thank you. So I made my order. I politely put a $100 bill in her hand as a tip. because that was $100 she saved me. My son went and picked up my PowerPoints last night. He walks in and he said, I'm here to pick up Laura Keys. Oh, your mother's the nicest lady. She's so sweet. We accidentally printed them in color. Can you tell your mother anytime she's there, come by and say hi to me? I just made her day. It was nice to her. And, you know, not the $100 bill, but, you know, nobody had been nice to her. Do that in the grocery store line. I've liked the oddest earrings and necklaces and shirts and t-shirts in my pocket. I want to tell you, I was standing there with a friend of mine. We get outside, she said, did you really like that? What? Oh, yeah, I did. I'm not lying. I'm just making the person feel good about themselves. If she bought those earrings, she thought they were special. I might not wear them, but she liked them. So triggering, anchors, and processing. Be aware of the triggers. Now, I really want to focus on this word. Like, if I say this water bottle, to me it's just a water bottle I'm going to drink some water out of. I had one person say, oh my God, a plastic water bottle, I can't even stand looking at them. They're going to be feeling bad about it. I had one person tell me that someone threw and hit them with a water bottle, and they don't like water bottles. Now, so this water bottle here would bother them subconsciously. They would get annoyed just with it sitting there. Be aware of when you don't feel good, what's around you. Because we have lots of triggers and anchors. I got on the interstate one time, and a friend of mine was in the car with me. She says, oh my gosh, I see semis on the truck. It's terrible. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad traffic, and we're going to have a wreck. I said, I'm going to turn around and take you home. I go, put a sock in it. I'm in a safe car. I like driving in the rain, and I love semis. Reframe, learn the triggers that create feelings that you don't want. Figure out the level of stress that you're feeling when you're in that trigger. Who or what has your remote control? Now think about that. Does anybody irritate you? Does anybody upset you? You basically handed them the remote control and says, would you push my buttons and make me feel terrible, please? I keep my remote controls. If someone gets one, I'll do a mental exercise and bring it back and have my ability to let go of it. Think about who has your remote controls, because I'm going to teach you can get your remote controls back and be more positively, emotionally managed. For those of you who have heard me speak before, hear this every time. Your brain, your subconscious mind does not hear don't or not. Don't think about the black horse. So, how many people are thinking about black horse? Mine has long mane and tail. It'd be, oh, Black Beauty, yes. Or Fury. When you're thinking a negative thought, cancel it. Cancel a negative thought. Use some actionary words. Cancel, delete, erase. Erase is a great one. Replace with a positive one. Say it how you want it, or think of a purple elephant. What's a purple elephant? Absolutely nothing. Somebody sent me pictures the other day. People at dressage show, they got a big stuffed purple out, and they're tossing it down the hallway for everybody. I had some shoes made with purple elephants on them. Really cute. Should have worn them nice. Purple elephant, absolutely nothing, but I can guarantee you, on my life, if you're in a bad state, you cancel the negative, you think of the purple elephant, you will, number one, laugh. Number two, you'll feel better. It works. Key number 3. Now, the word resilience is the word of the century. I read a book by Harvard Business Studies with all these articles for businessmen and high-end athletes, and every other article had resilience in it. I went, wow, that's an important word. I read some of my scripts and I was like, oh my goodness, I have resilience in my vocabulary too. What is resilience? It's the ability to handle life, ups and downs. Now the reason I'm teaching you this word as trainers, you become more resilient. You will not be affected by the negativity around you, and you'll be able to be stronger. Resilience is a way to be mentally strong, mentally tough. Now, the reason I said it's the word of the century, because even Costco magazine has a resilience article in it. It's everywhere now, because we're willing to be healthy as mental health goes. We are only words. We are only words as a human being. All of y'all here, your cells that make up a body, but you are only words. To be resilient, you become more adjustable in your life. Flexible, adjustable. So building your resilience is going to make you what? A better trainer? A better person? To enjoy your life. It's to build your self-esteem, learning from your mistakes. So it's like, oh my God, I had a lesson, I made so many mistakes. I said, what'd you learn from them? My sport is 40 clays. I shoot those little orange things that fly up in the air. And I got certified last summer, a year ago, in being a trainer. I didn't go to it so I could teach because I like what I do, but I did it so I had more knowledge to hypnotize shooters. I called it boot camp for an old lady. It's the toughest thing I've ever done. This teacher, oh my gosh. When I learned shoot, it takes a lot of concentration, it takes a lot of resilience. Building that control mechanism of learning from my mistakes, the way he taught us when we missed, we had to say why. I thought, well, that's kind of odd, I'm going to go back over it. But he wanted me to say why and how to correct it. I went, oh, why didn't you just tell me what I should have done? He goes, well, that's a good idea. So it's really learning from your mistakes, but understanding, accepting your own strengths and weaknesses, doing it. To get to where you have that self-control. Everybody here believe you have self-control? The optimistic thinking patterns, willingness to overcome difficulties rather than avoiding the problems, learning from them. This is about resilience. Social skills, ability to seek, assistance from others. Well, you're the trainers, and some students are here. They're all seeking information from you. Don't you think you're the role model for them? Problem-solving skills. You'll all have that. Goal setting with realistic expectations. I say that, and I keep that in all my things, because someone said, well, I just bought a horse, can I go to the dressage show next week, and he's never done dressage, can I do a Grand Prix? Well, no. I just bought a mule. Can I go to Global tomorrow? No. Unless it's training. So we want to go over. I gave you another chart here. I just put it in here so you would have it, because I knew I was printing two pages. I knew you wouldn't have it that match anything, but I gave it to you because I like it. And you can go over that. Because I want you to go over your notes, so maybe there'll be some more retention. Prioritize self-care. Take care of you physically, mentally, sleep, exercise, healthy diet. I really believe something here, and I'm going to say it. How many people have been taught about protein? Thank you. I promote protein because I was working with so many equestrians at this one point in my career, 20 years ago, and I'd worked so diligently, and they would call me from wherever they were showing in Germany or whatever, and they would say, I had a hiccup, I did this, I did that, and I go, what'd you have for breakfast? Coffee and donut. Oh, thanks. So I went and worked with a nutritionist at University of Nevada. She works with all the Cirque du Soleil athletes in Las Vegas. And she's quizzing me, and I answer all the questions. She says, I bet my life that your equestrians aren't getting enough protein. The brain needs protein. I went, well, their horses do. They do too. So I get people to go to this website, and on another thing in here, there's another place that has the actual website with the calculator on it. Just go get a guesstimate. A lot of Mayo Clinic, University of California, they all have a lot of stuff about Premier Protein. I use Premier Protein. It's a container I get at Costco. It's 30 grams of protein at 160 calories. To sit in my chair from 9 o'clock to 8 o'clock every day, I need 80 grams of protein. That's a lot. But so I drink my breakfast, 30 grams. At lunch, I have a bar I use, and I eat a nice dinner. So I get my 80 grams a day. But I have to make sure, and the second reason I went to this nutritionist was because I fell asleep one afternoon hypnotizing a kid and he had to wake me up. I've never been so embarrassed in my entire life. It's never happened again. It was so embarrassing. I said, oh, I'll just close my eyes for a second. He said, no, ma'am, you're snoring. So that's why I learned, too, for myself. I'd had a sandwich with a lot of bread on it, and carbs put me to sleep. And so I started checking with people. When people would tell me they had brain fog on their course jumping or a dressage test, if they had a lot of carbs, they had brain fog. That's science. And not having anything to eat, and you slept all night and all those hours, your body didn't have any fuel. My car doesn't run without gas. I don't know about yours. Your horses don't run without gas. They get protein. So this is so important to me. Plus, I think you need a good food plan. I'm not a nutritionist, so I can't tell you what that is, but I can tell you about protein. I have discovered this, and I just tell everybody about it. I'm one of these people, when 3 people tell me something, I'll try it. So my assistant brought me some powder thing, and I mixed it, and I spit it out and threw it away. And then somebody else told me to try this other one, and somebody else told me, and I did a lot of research. This is a K-cup, and I use it. It's called Focus. It has, and I say mushrooms, it tastes like coffee. I love my cup of coffee in the morning. And I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I love the taste of coffee. I mean, I'm not one that needed to drink 3 cups a day. I drink 1 and all I need. But I drink this every morning when I have clients. On the weekends when I'm not, I did today because I was coming here, but when I don't, I like my flavored coffee, so I get something else. But I tell you what, this is awesome. My brain is sharper. If you research it, you'll learn all about it. Key number 5. Develop effective management of your stress. Really and truly, right now, does anybody in this room have stress? Nobody, right? What is the word stress? What is it? What makes you stressed? Gosh, maybe the water bottle? Maybe semi-truck? Right? That is the stress of your physical body. That's something you need to take on and then think about getting healthy. Because you'll heal if you can, and then you'll find solutions to that. And I know that I've been spending the last couple of years working with the Paralympic team. When my first time to go speak with them, I was asked to speak on mental toughness. That hurt. I stood up front and said, y'all are the most mentally tough people I know. So I chose to speak on emotional intelligence and personal best. And I just got hired for this next year again too. So that you will write again, whatever capacity, whatever you do. I don't know what your injury is, but don't stress over it. Find a solution for it. Keep getting better. You're looking at a person here who had an autoimmune disease and did not get out of bed for a year. honest with everybody here, I used hypnosis. I wore holes in the cassettes back then to help ones for my mentor. I wore holes in them. She'd send me one, I'd make 10 copies of it, because cassettes wear out when they start talking slow. So find management of the stress, find out what the stress is, make it easy. You're going to get some MP3s from me. Listen to them. Text me and I'll send you my help one or my new one. Okay? It helps. This is where I got my brush your teeth every day. People say, well, I don't have time to listen to the MP3s. Well, you can go to bed at night and listen to them. You can hit the button and fall asleep with them. Because when you go to bed, you are going to sleep, and your first hour of sleep, your subconscious mind is open for 30 minutes. So you're absorbing everything, and I help you get better sleep and take you down to deeper levels. Just think about your mental toughness to avoid burnout. Imagine your life while you sleep. It's easy. I've asked you to give 2% of your day to yourself, 30 minutes. Now I'm asking you just to hit a button when you go to bed at night. And I guarantee you'll feel better, and you'll ride better, and life will be better. Now, how can I say that? Well, I've been doing it for 45 years. People ask me all the time, can you get addicted to hypnosis? I say, well, I don't know. I've been doing it for 45 years. I'm on no medication, and I'm pretty healthy for 68. I don't know. So try it. Mikey likes it. How many people know that commercial? Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. The MP3s promoting calm state aid in helping you fall asleep. The other thing about the MP3s isn't just a sales pitch, it's just something for you to use as a tool while we're selling you some new Prozac. It also has a lot of anchors and triggers that'll help you be more happy and calm during the waking and sleeping hours. Actually, that's some of my verbiage. However, it is important to choose a reputable source of such content. I'm telling you what they say on the internet about if you use hypnosis. Make sure that you know the content is there. I'm here, I'm getting my stuff. I guarantee you my content is nice and good for you. But I do have to give you that disclaimer if you go online and look up stuff. I've done a lot of research on that. Cultivate adaptability. Right now, adaptability, as a trainer, as a professional, you embrace the flexible ability of development of what you're doing. You're involved in a lot of things. I don't know, I know like a couple of people that are just trainers. But a lot of people are trainers. Which hat are you wearing? I had fun finding these little hats. Are you your trainer hat, barn manager, coach, professional showing? Which hat are you wearing? It's important to realize when you're doing each one of those things that you're wearing that hat. And it's an anchor to your subconscious mind that says, I'm riding the horse, I'm training the horse, I'm just a trainer now. To block out what's happening in the barn, what that person's doing over there, what's happening over there. It's really a good way to start thinking about what you're doing. Now, I can stand here and teach you this because I've been doing this with trainers for 20 years, and they love it. They'll actually call me and say, well, I had my X hat on, I had this hat on, this is what happened. They use it as a term to help their brain associate to what they're doing when they're doing it. It works. It just, so start thinking about when you're teaching, what hat you have on. Being focused on that, which is that flexibility. 7, seek support and connection. Build a support network. Linda Gray's done a great job of getting stuff for trainers, for students, and she's the prime example, great role model for it. There's so much out there, and she does a phenomenal job on the website. She's got videos and different things available. Think about the things that you can do to share with others, but to find your connection and what you want to do. And of course, I highly recommend, if you do a sports therapist, to do something, is get somebody that does hypnosis. Otherwise, it just in the 12%. Because your conscious mind is 12%. Your analytical, rational reasoning, thinking mind. Your logical thinking, your short-term memory. In your 12% is your willpower. You ever decided you want to make a change in your life, and you go, and you decide you're going to do it, and you go back to doing the same thing the same way you've always done it? Because 88% of your brain is your hard drive, and it's literal in there. It is your long-term memory, your habits, your emotions, and your self-preservation's in there. So we're operating off the subconscious mind. When you sit in the saddle and do any habits and you ride, you're riding off your 88%. When you're teaching and telling somebody how to do something or trying to teach them to do something, you're pulling off your subconscious mind. Think of the brain like a computer. It's got a search engine just like a computer does. If I think of your favorite birthday present. How old were you when you got your first birthday present? Mine comes to a water ski when I was 9 years old. That was a long time ago. That's what popped in my head. So your brain is the way to access it, is the relaxation. You go in and out of hypnosis all the time. When you worry and make a mountain out of a molehill, you are in an altered state of consciousness. So when you get someone to facilitate some changes, and when you're in an altered state of that place, it's another voice. Our brain hears our own voice all the time. So we need another voice to make the molehill out of the mountain. I practice this, I write it, I teach it. I have some things happening in my life. I have somebody hypnotize me. I can know the information, I can know what I need to do, but I still need another voice because my brain hears my own voice. So in the process of your imagination, like Ashley said at the panel the other night, that she goes to bed and visualizes her go. That's she's going into altered state of consciousness and she's visualizing her go. Test. That's what we go through. Since you're in control, people go, oh my gosh, a hypnotist, they'll make me do something that I don't want to do. That's not real. There is not a hypnotist on the face of the earth that can make anybody do anything they don't want to do. That's called acting on TV and the movies. And if you believe everything you see on the movies, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. Natural laws of mind. You are what you think. Words. Every thought creates a physical reaction. This is so important for you to realize, because everybody that sits in the saddle, every thought they have, the horse is going to feel it. That's one good reason to get some more self-control over your thoughts, isn't it? Your imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Have you ever worried about something that never happened? We all do. Because we have social media, we have TV, we have all kinds of things out there taking over our thoughts. Anybody ever compare themselves to somebody on social media? It's terrible. I have to hypnotize people to turn it off. Because it's not healthy unless you approach it healthy. If you're doing it and you're letting yourself be healthy with it, I like seeing what everybody's doing. I like seeing my family members, and actually it's the only times I really get to see my grandchild. My daughter will post sometimes, and if I like the picture, go, please send it to me. So be aware of what you're taking in, what your imagination's doing with it. Because here is your brain. If you don't take anything else out of this PowerPoint presentation, take this page, cut it out, and remember it. Everything is neutral. When you see, smell, taste, feel it, so it goes into your brain and have your responses. In your operating system, in this noggin up here, in your hard drive are your values, your beliefs that you've learned since birth until today. Your language, whether you speak more than one language. Your memories. Think of your memories as a tree trunk. There's a ring of every year of your life and everything's recorded. Your decisions, how you make decisions. Had a little girl come in one day, she was having trouble with nightmares, and she let me know when I was talking to her that she hates math too. She's a straight A student, she hates math. And her mother's an accountant. And I said, well, does your mother like math? My mother hates math. Oh, really? I would have guessed. She learned it. So your memories and your decisions, the decisions come from a lot of ways that you learn how to make decisions. I'm accused of making decisions quickly. I like something, I make a decision, and I do it. My girlfriend, it takes her 3 years to decide on one lamp. She still hasn't picked a lamp for a foyer. I've moved twice since then. I've bought 3 lamps. Time coding. What is time coding? Time coding is where our brains have like a time schedule of when we should be doing something. I turned 60 8 years ago. And I had this thing in my head, why am I working? I should quit. Ooh, I don't want that thought. And all of a sudden I realized a lot of people were retiring at 60. Well, I'm never retiring, so that went against my belief systems. And I was struggling with it. I called my friend and said, you need to hurry up and hypnotize because my brain's telling me to retire. I don't want to retire. So you got to think of what your time coding is. Sometimes with equestrians, they believe they haven't gotten to where they needed to be by that age. Or they started too late and they can't learn enough to catch up. That's huge. Yeah, they can. My girlfriend, same girlfriend, when she was 70, she's 74 now. I got her to go sporting clay with me, shooting. She shoots more than I do, and she's better than I am now because she's retired. And that's all she does. And she said to me the other day, do you know, Laura, when I turned 70, you got me to do sporting clays. I've never had a sport in my whole life. Not one sport. Not one sport lesson. I don't know, I've taken lessons in everything. Tennis, golf, riding, sporting clays. She started a sport at 70. In 4 years, she's better than I am, and I've shot a gun my whole life. Now, you can teach an old dog new tricks, and you can teach any dog tricks. I don't care what age you are. If you want to learn, you can learn. So your time coding messes you up sometimes. Just make sure your time coding is agreeable with what you're doing. Your meta programs, those are just programs like, driving on the right-hand side of the road, just your regular stuff. Like how to set a table. I stopped to get lunch at a club where I live in Palm City, and the girls are there, they're in college, and nobody's ever taught them how to set the table, so the chef was out there with the map showing them. And I go, really? And I go, my son taught me this. Bread plate B, drink D. And the chef goes, that's brilliant. So the girls are over there practicing that so they can set the tables of this, they run this fundraiser correctly. So what you know is what you know, and what you don't know is what you don't know. And you want to learn, think of what your programs are. So information comes in, all those ways I said, feel, taste, smell, hear, and it goes internally, creates a state, a physical result, that's your behavior. That all happens in nanoseconds of time, nanoseconds. If you have stress, worry, anxiety, and fear, it affects your ability to focus, it affects your ability to learn, and it affects your relationships. So how do we change that? We have filters up there. We have a filter to delete, and delete. One to distort, and one to generalize. Now, my one example of getting on the interstate, I love semi-trucks. I love driving in the rain. What was I doing? I was deleting her negativity sitting next to me because I don't have those thoughts in my brain. If she were driving, she'd be what? Gripping the steering wheel, having little panic attacks, and not wanting to go to the wedding. Probably would have made a U-turn. That's what I mean. So this is a really good example that I want you to learn from. Remember, mental toughness is a skill that is developed. It's a developed process that is inherently consistent with effort. When you have mental toughness, there was a long time I didn't like the word toughness because I think of a tough steak or tough something. But really to be mentally strong, consistently brave, safe, brave. Brave to me, I like to be mentally brave and have solutions for everything. It'll equip you to be better as a trainer and reduce your risk of burnout. The process of burnout, to avoid it, is to do these steps. I added a sheet in here. I'm going to go through them quickly because I don't know what my time is. Okay, I've got time. Do I have a little bit more time?
A little bit.
Okay. I'm going to go through them again, but I gave you the whole sheet separate too, so you can take it out and use it. That's how important this one is. And some of it is repetitive. I did it so you could use it for other ways. The eat healthy, we went over. This is the calculator. That's the correct place to go for the calculator. Letting go of fear and anxiety. First evaluate, is your fear real or imagined? What triggers the fear? Is it the guy going by on the tractor when you're on the horse? Is it too many people in a warm-up ring? Whatever the trigger is. Anxiety, where do you feel it? To really take your body, see where you feel it so you can neutralize it and become stronger to manage it. That's very important. Focus on solutions, not the problem. Now the reason I did this on a sheet and little squares so you can cut them out and use them. Avoid taking it personally. When somebody is doing something, are you more worried, when you're doing something, are you more worried about how you see yourself or how others see you? Gosh, I hope y'all all like me tonight. I hope they get something out of tonight. No, I'm more concerned about myself to present to you. If you don't like me, I gave you some information. I hope you do something with it or not. I can't guarantee that. But I don't want to sit here worried whether you like me. Because you know why? Because the average person thinks about the other person like 3 minutes. And then they're on to another thought. And the person who's worried about what the other person's thinking is wasting a lot of time. Don't waste any more of your time. Take your oxygen first and take care of you. Focus on themselves. Everybody's focused on themselves. Mental imaging role model, we talked about that earlier. In today's world, I really love it because you can look at a YouTube video and see exactly what you're doing. I remember a kid came in one time to do a back handspring tuck. She was a cheerleader, used to work with cheerleading teams, being second in the nation. I didn't know what a back handspring tuck was. It was about one of my first cheerleaders. So I said, oh, could you show me one that looks really good? And pulled out my phone, and she gave the phone, she showed me one. Oh, so I could hypnotize her to do that. If you don't know something, Google it. Use the role modeling to create the image, detail, be specific and realistic. Now, I wasn't going to watch that video and go try a back handspring tuck. I don't know that I could do it. But she was really good, and something triggered her, and she quit doing them. I hypnotized her to do them again, and she was fine. Just got rid of whatever happened. Learn self-discipline. Learning self-discipline, self-discipline. We all grew up with discipline rules and actions. We had things that we met in our meta programs of being polite, sitting down, not running over people, we've got a lot. But ourself, sometimes we forget about our own. Self-discipline is deciding what I want to do and following it. And when you do that, you emphasize the work of what you're doing. You create your time management. Routine and time management. There have been several articles written about how disciplined equestrians are. because you got so much to take care of. I mean, it's nothing for us to get up and go to the barn and do night check. It's nothing for us to go check our horses and be. God, I had a barn at my house for most of my life, and I was always making sure everything's okay until I discovered cameras. But self-discipline is your routine. It's a focus on your self-talk and staying positive. It's your choice to take this material and do what you choose with it, but this is important. The mental, I'm going backwards again. Okay, let go of jealousy and judgment. Jealousy and judgment are terrible. Being jealous creates another energy and another chemical in your body and brain. Because it also makes the person that's jealous of another person, their brain is saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, because it's looking at this other thing, person, thing, or whatever it is, and having a critical factor of not matching up. So the brain's job is to put you in fear, flight, fright, freeze mechanism. It stifles learning. Being judgmental of somebody else and being critical of them means there's something about self that's not matching up, and criticizing them that might be something worthy or not. That judgment. Practicing and find a cause and effect to release the negativity, and there's something good in everybody. Find one thing about each person that you like, that you criticize or judge. Just one thing. One thing. Create an attitude of gratitude. Build that positive emotional bank account inside of your mind. I love my sister, but she's a little negative at times. So today, she was being extremely negative. And I said, you know what? Just think of one thing you're blessed about. One thing. She did. Her whole attitude changed. The whole subject changed. And she forgot how negative you were. Because happiness is contagious. How many people can you make happy tomorrow? Just with a smile. Just liking their earrings. Strengthen your own self-image. Please, please. Tomorrow morning, you're still in the 10% tomorrow morning. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're perfect enough. Please do that one thing tomorrow. Choose a purpose and make a plan. Pre-write routine, pre-homework, writing routine, showing routine. All of that's important. Chunk it, figure it out, write it out. I gave you the book tonight. I wrote this book. And I chose to give it to you because the subject tonight is mental toughness. The subject tonight is avoid burnout. So the whole principle of the book is self-help. You fill it out, you do your homework, you go through it, and it's about getting each part of your triangle of life to be more balanced. There are tools in there, there are techniques in there, there's a lot of stuff that will help guide you to do it. And I'm always around. That's the company number. Billie Jean's around, my assistants are around. I answer questions, people need to talk to me. I will get to you. Actually, just remember some of all that. Our memories. Really, really, if you have questions, reach out to somebody at that number, and we have lots of suggestions and answers. I'm available, Billie Jean's available, and we are here to help. I've given you a lot of material. I mentioned to you that I recorded something special for tonight. It's going to be produced tomorrow, and it's on one of the sheets, have a website that you can go to and download MP3s. The MP3s that you all have on there is a personal best one that's a lot of my equestrians' favorite. I'm going to put mental toughness on there, self-discipline on there, and self-confidence, and then the one I recorded. So you'll have 5 MP3s to listen to, and there'll be instructions to how to listen to them. And I hope y'all got a little bit of something that we can get to be more of something by following some of the suggestions. So please, in a couple of days, see if you remember more than 5%. See if you can give yourself 2% of your day for yourself. 2% of your day. I do my 2% when I hit play. Yes, I listen to my own MP3s at night when I go to bed because I get a better night's sleep. If I wake up in the middle of the night, which I do because I have 2 little dogs, I hit play again. I think every opportunity I get to hit play, it helps me sleep better, wake up better, and I just change my subjects. And sometimes I just listen to sleep, because sleep is important too. So 2% of your day, find for yourself, please.